We got to go live now without thumbnails because a regular of ours, Noah's a regular. Oh, hang on. I can't even hear myself. Oh, there we go. Dear Cappy, I was hoping I could get your advice on where I should be putting my money while I'm in college. I know you can't give specific financial advice, but broadly speaking, what are my options for college savings? For a quick summary of my background, 21 years old, moving to Fort Collins, fun town, by the way, Colorado, June 2022. In order for me to apply for in-state tuition, I have to be living in Colorado for a year, starting in the fall of 2023. I'm a STEM major, and I expect to graduate around May of 2026. It's about the same time, what's his name? Atham will get his associates. Since I'm low income, I meet the bracket to receive forms of financial aid, such as a Pell Grant. I was given an estimate of $30,000 that I will have to pay when all is said and done, due to me having a decent position as a permanent full-time employee at a place. I can transfer to any warehouse in the country with relative ease. So long as I do my job, I have a reliable form of income. For the next 5 years, I'll be able to put a certain amount of money each week in my college fund. I've done extensive financial planning, and I expect to save about $48,000 when I graduate. Do you have any advice on where I should put my money each week? I obviously want to invest my money conservatively enough to hedge against inflation so that I minimize the risk in as much as possible. Especially concerned about what will happen in the next few years under a Biden administration. Money printer go burr. But that was every administration, Republican or Democrat, so don't worry about it. As well as the further normalization of inflationary practices like the Fed printing off more money, money printer go burr. If you also have any book suggestions or people I should be listening to when it comes to this topic, just send them my way. Right now, I've been listening to experts like Peter Schiff and Dave Ramsey. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this, Noah. Your number one hedge against inflation, this is everybody, is your skill set. Like if you're a programmer or an engineer, you produce something of value, or a surgeon, you could just like, oh, did they print off 20% more money? I guess my fee went up 20%. So you want to be in that position of power. And by being in a position of power, that means you major in the hard stuff, the things women don't want to major in. I say because I care, because I want you women to major in hard stuff so you could close the wage gap, but be practical. Yeah, your number one thing is major, which is what you're doing. So you have that natural inoculation, at least for per hour of unit of your time that you're going to make. I do have future requests about other topics, such as career prospects and questions about reconnaissance. And I'm going to bother asking about how to find a quality woman anymore. Thank you. Lastly, I want to thank you, Cappy, for the solid advice you've given me and many of your listeners for the past few years. And while I'm far from perfect, my life has steadily improved. Just let me know your price. Okay, here's the number one bit of advice I can give you. Don't get a girl pregnant. There. And good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you. And that's how Cappy cured poverty. All right. You want to know what to do with your money. So I asked you, well, from now until June 2022, which is when you go to college, do you have any free time to take online classes? Also, have you looked into local community college or something? Yes, I'm doing my general education right now through my local community college. Good. So you're getting those prereqs out of the way. I've been doing 2 classes per semester so I can focus on quality, get the best grade. Good. I have enough time where I can spread out my general ed before I start university. Counselor, I spoke with. Fuck the counselor. Graduate 2.5 years, 3 at most. Some payment. Here's the problem. All right. You're making a fair amount of money and you're not going to school that much full time. So you probably have a little bit of extra cash beyond what you could just park away in cash for future tuition expenses. And since it's only a year out, I know tuition might go up by 14% because money printer go burr. We need to lend more money. Why is tuition so high when we keep lending hundreds of billions of dollars more to this system? Oh my God, we need more hundreds of billions of dollars of money to this system? I'm no economist. Even though it's 1 year, June of 2022, that's a year and a half out. If you want, invested in a 1-year inflationary bond, if such a maturity exists. But frankly, man, just hold this cash. Because the main investment is increasing your skill set so you can command a higher wage per hour of your time. And the investment horizon is really short. I know a year maybe seems a lot in your mind, but a year, dude, you want your powder dry. You want your gunpowder dry. You want to be able to use it. You don't want to invest it in the stock market and all of a sudden it goes down by 30% because whatever China farted. It's not worth the risk. Not for something as important as increasing the value of per minute of your time. So I would just hold it as either cash or a very low risk, maybe inflationary adjusted investment. If there's a 1 year inflation adjusted bond, maybe, but just hold it as cash. If you got a little bit more cash, like let's say you're starting to squirrel away a fair amount of cash and you got more cash than what tuition is probably going to cost you. Okay, well, with that extra money, you could be a little bit more risky. Maybe you could invest in a little bit of silver and you just would hold on to that unless it went way up and then you could cash it in. But I think you're going to have to buy everybody. Here's one thing I have no problem with. Everybody better buy some silver. Better have some silver and just hold on to it. You're not there to make money on it. You're just insurance to have. So that's another thing you'd start throwing your money at. Depending on your employer, though, even before you do that, do you get a match on your 401k? Throw your money at that, man. That's free money. But yeah, if you're talking 10 years, I say, okay, yeah, throw it in the S&P 500. But you're talking a year out, anything can happen. Hold on to your money. Maybe prepay tuition or prepay rent if you can. That'll lock in your gains and prevent against inflation. Like if you're going to live nearby. You got a little bit of, another thing you can do. Maybe you go have some fun, huh? You worked hard, man. You saved hard. You probably came from poverty. You qualified. Why don't you just go have a little bit of fun? I know this sounds, okay, Cappy's going to be human now. I like art. I don't have a lot of art pieces, but what few art pieces I bought, I really appreciate them, enjoy them. Then I'm going to put them right up in my house, right there so I can appreciate them. Why don't you buy something that you're going to keep with you for the rest of your life? Got a little bit of extra money. Doesn't matter if people like it. Doesn't matter if it has value or not. Doesn't matter if you could sell it. Do you like it? Go get a little piece of art or something like that. But no, you're not going to invest in the market or just invest in yourself. Save the money. It's not sexy. It's boring. Oh, poor Cappy. Dre. The white man's burden. Got him. How does modern life, John, feel about you beating small? It's not okay. Number one, I didn't beat it, Trey. Number two, it wasn't a small dog. Number three, it needed discipline. Wish there was like when you're about to be born, like, hey, would you like to put a deposit down to insure against having friends like Dre? Yeah, I would. Boom. How much money? Want to get paid that off later? Fine. Here it is. Speaking of friends nobody wants, Chad Elkins. Well, the Aztec patriarch, if it flies, floats, or fucks, you must rent and not buy. Yes, the 3F rule. But in banking, we called it flies, floats, or fornicates because that would be more appropriate. And we can't say that anymore because it would upset the Womans, even though it's true. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.